You just need someone to hold your hand.
Well, don't look at me, Brooke. I'm not touching those clammy things.
Ew, for real.
My hands are not clammy. I can't believe I just reached into a toilet for a biscuit. What is wrong with me?
Hey, so I did that thing again where I resurrect a lost game that nobody can really play anymore. Did you know the Silent Hill Book of Memories people developed a Luigi's Mansion clone that plays kind of like Bop It, and it might be the highest production value mobile game of all time? Seriously, the voice acting is top-notch, the spooky cute art direction is peak, and they even made a million little paintings so none of the haunted house assets get reused. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. Welcome y'all, I'm Mothy, and we're experiencing Till Morning's Light, a now delisted mobile game made by Wayward, known for the Shantae series and a bad Silent Hill title, but also some wild parodies from the 1990s like X-Fools, The Spoof Is Out There, and a ton of licensed games on the GBA and DS. They also made one of the best original mobile native games that has ever released in Till Morning's Light. We're talking one-time purchase, full game, no microtransactions, no DLC. And because it cannot be purchased any longer and smartphone games are notoriously problematic to archive, I want to take us on a journey through this nifty little handheld horror game before it blinks out of existence forever.
Ooh. Ooh. Maybe if I sound like a ghost, they'll be afraid of me?
Till Morning's Light came out in 2015 for Fire Phone, the short-lived Amazon brand smartphone, because this game was published by Amazon Game Studios in collaboration with WayForward. And that partnership likely explains the ultra-high level of care, that is to say budget, that went into this game. Director Adam Tierney had actually sketched out the concept for this game around 2008, of a girl breaking into a haunted mansion to look for her missing friend who had gone before. But WayForward never found the right time to make that project, so they sat on the idea for 5 years until Amazon approached them, comically large $ sacks of money in hand, looking to bring some high-value original titles to their Fire OS platform. They basically told WayForward they can make whatever they want, and the vaulted Till Morning's Light idea was perfect for the project, so with Amazon's backing, they popped it out less than 2 years later. Now, TML was originally going to be a Fire OS exclusive until very close to release. If you listen to the accompanying audiobook, boy, we'll get there. It ends by saying, quote, "Play Till Morning's Light exclusively on Fire phones to unravel the rest of the mystery." But thankfully, the exclusivity was revoked prior to release, probably because Fire phone sales were already plummeting, and the game did make it to Android and iOS as well. Then at some point, it's really hard to tell when a game gets delisted because that's not a celebrated event like a launch is, but the game got removed from sale in the 11 years since, becoming fuel for the Mothy Lost Media Horror Content Farm, and here we are. Now, I've seen whispers that the Android release is no longer operable, something about getting blocked trying to connect to a decommissioned Amazon game service on launch, but the iOS version doesn't have that issue, so we're playing today on an iPhone 5 running iOS 8. Phew, that was a long intro for me, so let's start playing the game. But do please subscribe if you enjoy horror gaming and lost media content like this. Bell on too if you want notifications, because that helps me keep digging up gold like this game to share with y'all. Thank you.
Hurry up, Erica.
Sorry.
Yeah, what's the deal? I thought you wanted to check this place out.
I do. It's just...
You just need someone to hold your hand.
Well, don't look at me, Brooke. I'm not touching those clammy things.
Ew, for real.
My hands are not clammy.
OMG, Erica, chill out. We're totes joking. Lexi, get the door.
Ooh, it's unlocked.
Beautiful. You go in first, Erica.
What?
Come on, I thought you were into this spooky crap.
Yeah, isn't that what you're always scribbling in that notebook of yours?
Maybe it's fan fiction.
Ew, probably.
But it's dark inside. I don't see any lights.
Give it to her. Problem solved, sweetie. Now get in there.
Brooke? Lexi?
Right behind you, Erica.
Yeah, way behind.
No, please don't! Please! Open the door! Brooke! Lexi!
Such a drama queen.
I know, right? Come on, Erica. It's just an old house.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna get chopped up by some axe murderer.
Oh God, what if she was? Can you imagine?
So, let's start with the premise. Our name is Erica Page, and we were supposed to be checking out the haunted Hamilton Road Mansion in Leicesterville, New England, with the mean girls from school, Brooke and Lexi, though it seems they've betrayed us into exploring alone. They'll let us out at dawn. We've got to survive till morning's light. Now, playing this game on a mobile device means the controls are all touchscreen, so we can tap a spot in the room to walk there or just use the virtual joystick, which I found perfectly functional. As good as it's felt in any game. We're in a puzzle game haunted mansion, so of course the most important thing to do in any new room is sniff the perimeter for items. Some items are lying out for Erica to automatically grab when we get close, but there are also tiny, pale little interaction pips we can tap for actions like opening doors, pulling levers, and gathering flies into a jar. You'll see. The front door of the mansion has been boarded up, and we have a lot of time to kill until morning, so we might as well explore, but no matter which door we try, everything seems locked.
Locked. What am I doing?
That is an excellent question.
Who said that?
The polite thing would be to first introduce yourself.
Erica.
What are you doing in my house, Erica?
These girls from school, they sort of locked me inside. But if you could show me the way out, I'd be happy to leave.
Oh, I'm afraid that won't be happening.
Please?
Don't run. You'll only make this messier than it needs to be.
We will cover combat later, but for now, our first enemy type, this frog fairy looking thing, is officially called a chomper, and for killing it, we get a key with a crown.
It's a key with a crown.
There are over 100 rooms in this mansion, and a very helpful map tracks them for us. Jiggling the handle of a locked door adds that room to the map, including the type of key we'll need to open it, so I like to jiggle all the handles in a room before proceeding through the one door that I can actually open. Also, there are some interesting portraits on the walls here in the foyer. Perhaps the family who lived here?
This guy looks pretty happy. What the heck's he doing here?
But for now, our only way to proceed is through the crown door, beginning Chapter 1 on the western wing of the first floor of the mansion. This is the drawing room. Piles of coins sit out on the floor, so I meander to grab those as I make my patrol for loot and puzzles. We find some kind of crank.
It's some kind of crank.
Which causes the game to dramatically zoom in on 3 clocks around the room, just in case we were too stupid to figure out that they're the only things in the room we can't even use the crank on. We also find an old-timey photo of 2 kids splashing on the beach in Miami, possibly dated October 15th, 1930, except the date is written to appear more like a time. Well, cranking each of the smaller clocks spits out a clock hand, and we need to collect all 3. But each clock we crank is spitting out chompers, so let's chat about combat. Combat in Till Morning's Light is a mini-game. We need to time our tap on the inner green circle when the outer green circle shrinks to overlap it in order to attack the enemy. Doing so with perfect timing is worth more damage, 5 versus 3, and as long as we don't miss an action, we never take a hit from the enemy, but every time we do miss, the enemy hits us once. I would love to tell you that combat is a rhythm game, but tragically that's not quite true. I have my music off for recording, but even when you have it on, the music isn't beat matched to the combat actions. Combat is not musical. So if you're bad at rhythm games, don't let that discourage you. The timing here is all just visual and reflexive.
A key. Well, that was relatively easy.
Using all 3 clock hands to spill out the timestamp from our beach photo on the larger mantelpiece clock pops another key out to open our next room. That's how most of this game is going to operate. Solve the puzzle in one room to get the key for the next.
What were those things? And what kind of house has a creepy, disembodied voice?
Yeah, he's kind of a tool. Oh, my bad. Was that for me, the screaming? Sorry, I spend a lot of time around other ghosts. Kind of forget how I must look to someone so living.
This is Keaton, a late 2000s high school child ghost. We're grateful for the friendly face, but Keaton doesn't seem too eager to help us escape. In fact, he invites us to hang out.
You seem pretty cool. Want to hang out?
Not really.
We'll be seeing more of Keaton. The big majority of this game is the Stephanie Sheh show, Erica's voice actor, but to the extent we get any co-stars, they would be our evil disembodied homeowner's voice and Keaton.
Next time I see Brooke, I'm gonna punch her in that big blonde head of hers. Probably not, though. No, I'm sure I'll just hide in the corner and watch them pick on the next work on their torment list.
From the hallway, we enter a big creepy dining room, remnants of a long-past meal still spread on the table, and it's here we find our first journal entry.
Journal entry, February 17th, 1923. Absolutely wretched. Why Victor ever thought his abilities in the lab would equate to the kitchen is beyond me.
So, the structure of Till Morning's Light is somewhat elegant. The mansion has 4 wings, each of them watched over by a sort of elite employee or minion of the house's lord, Mr. Disembodied Voice himself. This first wing is guarded by the Victor mentioned in that journal entry, who's apparently awful at cooking, but a rather skilled biologist. And yes, this is the second game in a row I'm covering where there's a mad biologist named Victor, alluding to Victor Frankenstein. It's clear what I need to do now. Abandon my premise as a boat games channel and fixate entirely on Frankenstein games. To the Victor go the Victors! Dividing the game like this into 4 quarters keeps a good pace between exploration and boss fights, and it also keeps a mansion of this size from feeling overwhelming. The scope of puzzles and the space we have to search to make progress if we ever get lost never extends beyond the current wing. To advance from the dining room, we push a block onto a pressure plate. Block pushing is smooth until morning's light, and that's good because there's a lot of it. We can push or pull a box from any side and rotate around it to navigate turns. That block push opened access to the pantry, where a chomper fight introduces a new battle action. There are now yellow arrows we have to swipe over, not tap, when they overlap. Yellow arrows are still worth the same damage, it's just a new motion we have to worry about in addition to green circles. From here on out, combat is going to feel like we're playing Bop It.
Carrots.
Erica has begun collecting ingredients for a stew, though she doesn't realize that yet.
Onions.
The onions are hidden inside a little nook. This is a searching mechanic that zooms us in on a hole in the wall or some other cavity and lets us drag it around in 3D space to hunt for items. You can usually see the item you need glowing from first glance, though. This is kind of easy. But what's cool is the 5 or so nooks we encounter throughout the game are all modeled out uniquely, even though that's hardly necessary for the gameplay. It's a lovely attention to detail and a fair bit of extra work that I was not expecting to find in a phone game. Through now to the larger kitchen, an interactable pot on the stove looks like a good place for us to cook up a stew, but we're gonna need an ingredients list.
Looks like an ingredients list.
Grabbing which makes our second enemy type jump out, with a really tough new combat action. These sharp-toothed worm snakes are called leechers, and they make us tap a small blue circle once the overlapping one slides in from the edge. Blue circles move pretty fast, and the hit target is small to boot. While this game is playable on tablets, my phone only has a 4-inch diagonal, and also mind that my thumbs are always blocking some portion of the screen, which hurts visibility. So, blue circles end up being the toughest combat action to master, and they cause me my first couple of misses to take damage. I eventually found better success on blues by hedging just slightly early with my tap. That gives up the chance for a perfect hit, but the game felt more generous about counting early taps than late ones.
Potatoes. A plate. Onions. Carrots.
It takes a lot to make a stew. We're still gonna need a pinch of salt and laughter too. I can see some meat sitting out on the table, but we don't have what we need to grab it. Not sure if we're looking for nitrile gloves or a time machine. This meat cannot be recent. Well, in the back hall, we do find a meat cleaver. Maybe we can use this to fight those creatures.
Maybe I can use this to fight those creatures.
Indeed, it is a fine upgrade over the flashlight, now hitting for up to 8 damage. One door back here seems special. It's locked and it glows with a yellow rune. I doubt a traditional key is going to open that. I figure maybe this one opens with money somehow, since our gold is also yellow and I haven't found another way to spend it, but nope. This door looks special because it's a boss room, but it'll still open with the right key item. There's also a nook in the wall where we can find a crow's foot, which is upsettingly one of our stew ingredients. I didn't realize Helen Mirren's laugh lines taste good in soup. But yeah, see, a totally different nook experience than the last one. We are able to flip a lever, opening a shortcut back to the dining room. TML has plenty of one-way doors like this, shortcuts we can open to make the house more navigable as we play. Backtracking is an inherent design of a game like this, but WayForward kept playability in mind here. Whoever pieced the map together did a strong job. Speaking of backtracking though, at this point we visited every open room and haven't missed any items in them, but we still don't have what we need to complete the stew. It turns out we actually must backtrack to the dining room, where new chompers have spawned and gobbled up the nasty old food. Killing these yields the salt and pepper we need for the stew. Now, it's not like this was hard to find while we only have a few rooms open in total, but the precedent this sets for thinking that I might need to revisit old rooms sometimes to make progress sucks. It makes me waste time checking old rooms later when I get stuck, even though this is the only required revisit.
I swear, this is worse than shopping with my dad.
Aha, some rare Erica lore that would be totally out of left field without context from the audiobook. We're still waiting to cover that because there's a better moment. But for now, know that Erica's mom died many years ago, and her relationship with her dad has been tense since then. He's strict and not very understanding of Erica's troubles fitting in at school. Well, I got my asp handed to me by this leecher, so it's time to heal. Pillsbury biscuits are for some brave reason our primary healing in TML, restoring a quarter bar of health. But I don't know, without some gravy or jam, those would only restore like an eighth of my bar. Dry! The medicine bottle ends up being worth half a bar, and later med kits will heal you the whole way.
Meat!
Don't get too excited now, Erica.
Meat!
Me introducing my 2 friends named Carrots and Onion to each other.
Carrots. Meat! Onions. Onions. Meat! Carrots.
Anyway, meat was our last stew ingredient, so toss all that junk in the pot, plate it, and send it down the dumbwaiter, which rewards some gold for solving the puzzle as well as another key.
Another key! Silverware key.
I love that they voice acted every single item in this game. Stephanie Shea had a million lines to record for Till Morning's Light, and they're a highlight of the game, so I'm gonna be generous with the ones I let play.
A gate. Awesome. Because just locking it wouldn't be dramatic enough?
That silverware key opened a small hallway off of which we find a huge fancy bathroom. Inside that is a journal entry introducing the mansion's second boss, Constance.
But Constance has always had a taste for the finer things.
Now, according to the audiobook, this mansion went up in 1797, the same week a hurricane destroyed most of the town of Leicesterville and claimed a dozen lives. But the mansion was untouched. It traded many hands since then before being abandoned in 1985, so by this journal entry from 2008 referencing the decrepit state of the place, well, it sounds like the place wasn't abandoned in 1985 after all, but they must not have called a plumber in a while. Erica is going to have to be the new plumber, but we'll need a pipe to accomplish anything in here. The toilet doesn't even flush. What kind of video game bathroom is this?
Crates and plates. Sounds like a crappy band name.
Another pressure plate back in the dining room opens up a broken lever whose handle we now possess to fix it, granting a key for the tea room. But on my way there, I check my map and spot a shop icon back in the foyer. I'd love to spend some of this gold, so let's go see what that's about. Well, it looks like the shop is referring to this big trunk, but I don't think the vendor is home right now. Must be on holiday hours. Okay, the tea room is in the southwest corner of the mansion. Through big French doors, we're almost outside.
Oh, outside. Almost. How do I get out there?
Opening the way is going to take 5 statues placed on the pedestals here. One's in this room, and we've collected 2 others by now, but where are the other 2? There's a journal entry from 1963 in this room.
Journal entry June 22nd, 1963.
This entry says Victor has been working on grotesque statues that he calls art, but interestingly, this journal is dated 40 years after the last mention of Victor, at which point he was already an adult scientist. So he's either getting into sculpting at a ripe old age, or he's got an unnaturally long lifespan. I say, like it's not super duper obviously the latter. I think everyone in this place besides the ghost is at least like 200. Well, looking for the statues is one place this game is kind of bullshit, cause we've explored every open room. I can tell you we haven't missed anything in them, and yet we have no way to advance. So I revisit most of the open rooms, thinking it might be another situation like the dining room where monsters only spawned in now, but that's not the case either. What we're meant to do is place down our existing statues even though we know we don't have enough to complete the puzzle. Doing that does cause enemies to spawn in the tea room. It's one small annoyance in a game that's otherwise pretty tightly designed. I'm not used to having to partially complete an objective in order to move on. It's like we got stuck after 4 badges in Pokemon, and the only way to make the 5th gym leader appear was to try and access Victory Road early. Anyway, this new Hawk 2 enemy is called a Gooper. Their easy to dodge projectiles can hit us outside of combat, but once we engage up close, they're nothing special, and one of them drops the key we seek.
You're obviously wrong, Asa.
I'm obviously not, Edith. I'm a good 2 inches taller than you. 3 even.
Did you lose your brain when you died? We're the same height.
Excuse me?
Eep.
Are you 2 ghosts?
Yes, but that's hardly important right now. Who's taller?
It's more ghosts. These 2 might be the children from the Miami photograph.
When you die somewhere in this house, you're trapped in that room. Forever.
Can you imagine? Eternity stuck with him?
Hey.
So there's no way out?
Others have tried, but it never ends well.
Others? Have you met a girl here? Her name's Angie.
Sorry, Angie? Angie. It's time to make the clouds all disappear from the TML backstory. If you haven't listened to the Till Morning's Light prequel audiobook, this will be the first time as a player that you hear of someone called Angie, and you'll be rather confused. Who the heck is that? So this is perfect timing for me to jump in and explain. I looked for a more elegant way to drip feed prequel lore throughout the script, but it's all info the player would have from the beginning, so I think it's best if we rip that band-aid off now and cover the whole thing at once. Don't fear, the whole thing is only like 30 minutes, fully voice acted with chapter breaks, and I'm gonna cut it down to just the essentials. It was released just before the game as a marketing tool to drum up hype, and it is still available on Amazon for free, so if you feel like checking out the primary source for some reason, I'll link it in the description. So, Erica and her tense relationship dad moved to Leicesterville, New England, state undisclosed, 17 months prior to tonight. At age 14, Erica's new and awkward in school, and when she spills milk all over those mean girls from the intro, they're about to make her pay when a girl named Angie comes to rescue her and the 2 become friends. It turns out Angie's an outsider too because she's into the occult and ghost hunting. In fact, the notebook Erica has with her tonight, where she's keeping her notes, that's Angie's occult notebook. The two check out a few spooky places around town and don't find much. Then one day, Erica had some extra time walking to school and took a new route down Hamilton Street where she passed by this very mansion and spotted a teenage ghost boy waving to her from a second-story window. That was almost certainly Keaton, so we can sort of blame him for us even being here tonight, but the game doesn't really follow up on that. Now, I already touched on the mansion's dark history. Erica senses evil from this place and doesn't even want to go, but Angie insists. So the girls get in a fight about whether to go. Angie storms off from Erica's place one night and is never heard from again. The police and volunteer groups never find a clue. Erica was the last one to see Angie and suspect she visited the mansion they talked about, but a canine search of the premises turns up nothing. A divination spell that Erica tries in desperation hints that Angie might be there after all, but the spell is also like, probably demons too, and Erica never finds the courage to follow Angie inside. Fear prevents her from trying to rescue her friend. So 15 months pass. Angie's presumed dead and the world moves on. But Erica's interest in the occult remains, and one day in a book about supernatural sites of power, she spots a blurry black and white photograph of this very mansion, which renews her suspicions about the place. That's only 5 days before this game begins. A year and change since she lost her friend, and very slightly braver now, Erica decides to renew the search for Angie. She recruits Brooke and Lexi to help. We saw how that went, and here we are. TLDR, Erica might have gotten Angie killed a while back, and now we're in a cursed mansion looking to maybe save her, or find her ghost, or body. Anyway, more immediately, those ghost kids also teach us that ghosts are tied to where they die within the house. This fact comes up later, so hold on to it. Well, the fireplace in this room is interactable, but we can't get the item out of it until we trade our cleaver for our second tool weapon, the fire poker. That snatches up a snake key. Creepy. Anytime we swap weapons, by the way, we leave our old one in its place. There is a bit of min-maxing you can do with where you drop off certain weapons, but we'll get to that later.
What a pair of brats, huh?
You!
Keaton.
You said you know your way around, right? Help me get out of here.
Well, those bad people he mentioned, they're the ones that cast the spell.
And?
And if you can defeat them, spell goes away. Then you can bail.
Aren't they the people who killed everyone?
Yep.
Great.
Thus, we have our official mission. Defeat the mansion's 4 lieutenants to break the spell and get out of here. I guess that single plank that Brooke and Lexi nailed across the door was mostly symbolic. We're spellbound anyway. A rat in a cage. Anyway, the snake key gets us into—
Well, hello there.
Shit.
What are you?
What the hell is even that? Well, don't miss the final statue that's chilling in here. Then this little parlor contains our first shop. A masked little buddy looking like a Dark Souls 3 grub man pops out of a trunk to offer items for sale. One of which is a checkbook that passively pays us 5 coins every time we enter a room. So, do we even need to read the other items? But for illumination's sake, the other items are healing biscuits, a gauntlet that promises to halve the damage we receive on miss for 60 seconds, and a pocket watch that'll freeze enemies on the overworld for 10. But all 3 of these feel insanely expensive for mere consumables, even the biscuit.
Sheesh. Could have bought something.
The shopkeeper's voice is so good. He's Christopher Corey Smith, who's been both Mewtwo and Molag Ball, but the voice he's doing here sounds most like his work as Lego the Joker. As far as that checkbook, if you're at all familiar with me and my content, you know my first thought was to put the game on pause until I grind up 1,000 gold. And I may have briefly tried that, but grinding cash seems to be impossible maybe? Monsters do respawn, but I can't get them to drop more gold. Perhaps enemies can only roll monetary drops the first time we kill them. They do still drop healing items, but there's no way to sell those, so sadly we are forced to actually play the video game in order to rack up more cash. I know. God forbid. Well, placing all 5 statues finally gets us some fresh air.
Finally, some fresh air.
We've made it outside to the fountain courtyard. We're immediately confronted with dirt piles. I know this trick. Guess we're keeping eyes peeled for a shovel.
Huh? Who's calling me?
Standing on a small glowing pentagram, our phone rings. Destiny is calling me. But it's not a real phone call. Taking out our phone here puts us in spirit photography mode, and if we locate the glowing orb and snap its photo...
Hello?
A ghost pops out that we Luigi's Mansion style need to wear down and capture by following it closely as it floats around the area. These lost spirits are the game's only collectible, and they number 20 in total. In theory, using the spirit camera spends down this ecto resource that we maintain, that's the teal jar in the lower left, which replenishes by killing enemies, but that never came close to mattering for me. Like, my ecto levels never dropped below 80%. If you're unskilled enough to let your ecto run out, there's no way you're possibly doing well enough at the game's combat to even make it this far. So the ecto mechanic feels unnecessary, but collecting lost spirits is a fun diversion. Here's our shovel. It does excellent damage, 11 up from the fire poker's 9 on a perfect hit. But more importantly, we can now dig up all those dirt spots around the outdoor areas. They're mostly coins, but one pile contains a key we need for the greenhouse. In here is a standard but fun chemistry mixing puzzle. All 4 of the substances we need are found in this room, but discovering them takes some creativity.
Something red.
The output for mixing them correctly is an Erlenmeyer flask, not a beaker like we say, full of acid. Get it together till morning's light.
Beaker.
Out the other side of the greenhouse is another big yard map with a really creepy alien statue. What is this thing?
What is this thing?
We'll find a couple more of these in the game, and none of them do anything besides creep me out. Maybe they're just art by Victor. He was getting into sculpting, but I'm getting a slight otherworldly vibe from this. Then a bunch of pressure plates and levers later, the furthermost yard area is a lovely respite with nothing to do but a shop trunk and another lost spirit. This one I managed to corner on the dock so I don't have to chase it around, but the other spirits usually float around their rooms and take a little effort to chase. They're the exact same difficulty throughout the game though. Lost spirits don't get more health or speed up toward the end or anything. As long as you clear the room of enemies first, spirit chasing is hard to mess up. Well, there's a shed we can dissolve our way into with that acid to find yet another useful weapon, the crowbar. This should do some damage.
This should do some damage.
With this, we can open vents, which sometimes lead to the adjacent room, but sometimes they make long secret passages that pop us out far away, like going study kitchen in Clue, or dollhouse library in The Seventh Guest. This vent sticks us in the maid's quarters back in the house proper. Looks like the maid stashed away the pipe we need for repairing the bathroom.
A pipe! Wonder where this goes.
It's a pretty long journey back to the bathroom where we need to use that, so on the way there, let's talk about Till Morning's Light's most important mechanic. Sarcastically. It comes down to this. I'd like to keep the crowbar on us as we proceed for opening more vents inside the house. It feels more likely that we'll run into vents than more dirt piles inside. But we might want the shovel again. Houses do have courtyards and basements, and the shovel hits a bit harder in combat too. Then don't forget the fire poker and the meat cleaver. Who knows when we'll have to poke or chop again.
Meat!
Thus begins the game-long stressing over which weapon I should carry with me. Maybe it's none of the above, but some dagger or a lead pipe that does better damage, but that doesn't open any content. We cannot drop weapons anywhere we want to. There's no item box system, and we can't just pile them up in the foyer. We can only leave our old weapon in the spot where we pick up a new one. So I did this clever little shuffle of parking the fire poker in the faraway garden shed as I pick up the shovel again so that I can leave the shovel a little closer to the house as I swap back to the crowbar. Don't do this. Yes, it's technically helpful and better, but the time I spent calculating on top of managing weapon locations probably ended up more than if I had just naively backtracked every time I ran into a situation that called for a different tool. Over-engineering a solution to outsmart the system was my own downfall. Definitely channeling my dad there. I did find enough coins to grab that checkbook though.
Excellent choice.
And yep, it does what it says on the tin. $5 each time we change screens, which we do a lot. It takes 200 transitions just to pay for the checkbook itself, but from now on, we do have a way to farm up unlimited gold should the need arise. So far, we've only used our gold to get more gold. Jesus preached against this. Okay, that pipe from the maid's room lets the bathtub drain and spawns a whole lot of leechers. I missed quite a few blue circle actions here and had to dip into my biscuit reserve. But killing those yields a peculiar yellow scroll, and as we bring that toward the glowing yellow door in the back hallway,
you have made quite a mess of things.
You again. Don't you have a body somewhere?
I do.
Look, I'm sorry I'm in your house, whoever you are. Believe me, I'd rather be someplace else.
Why are you destroying all of Victor's creatures?
Who's Victor?
An associate of mine.
I don't know. Why are his creatures trying to kill me?
It's part of a greater plan. Believe me when I say that I don't take joy in murdering my guests.
I find that hard to believe.
Aha! So the Victor we've been hearing about, our scientist/sculptor, it sounds like he's found a way to intermingle his interests, sculpting flesh into the creatures who've been attacking us. Let's meet this guy and ask him politely to stop.
Never enough time, never enough bugs and rats and bats. So behind, so very far behind.
Hello?
Begone, child! Can't you see how busy I am? I've quotas to meet, creatures to make. Master Crows does not take kindly to dilly-dallying.
Master Crows? Are you Victor? I'm sorry about your monsters.
Monsters?
Yeah, the gross things that keep trying to eat me. I'm just trying to get out of here. Alive, preferably.
So, it's you who's been destroying my children.
Well, yeah, but just because they're trying to kill me...
That's what they're supposed to do!
Sorry?
Naturally, the fault is mine. The creatures you've encountered thus far have been woefully inadequate. Let me show you something new I've been working on.
Okay, so awesome design. Till Morning's Light did a great job on the character designs and art style, and I wasn't expecting this many full cutscenes. This truly is a stunning level of polish for a one-time purchase mobile game. But we're in a boss fight. This is no time to appreciate aesthetics. There's a lot to process here. Enemy ads wander the room, including a new type of furry sharp-toothed bulldog, dashers, who constantly pull us into little combats. Victor's chilling over the pool, lobbing purple dog balls at us. He's got good aim, and he even leads our movement a little bit sometimes, so we have to juke to dodge them. If one hits, we can still escape damage by rapidly tapping a bunch of circles on time like a Pop-It toy. I usually failed this though, cause it's pretty tough on a tiny phone. The arena itself is full of stuff to touch. A half dozen environmental interaction points, and it's not really clear what to do with them at first. Fortunately, the right answer is pretty much just touch everything. The opposite of a museum. Pick up levers, attach them, and pull them. After flipping several, sparks begin flying out of wires, but that's not enough to electrocute Victor. So I hit a snag here. I couldn't tell what I was missing, and the constant barrage of projectiles and respawning enemies gives you very little time to analyze the puzzle and think. I won't lie, this was frustrating, but at least dashers are easy to fight. Eventually, I realized that this Tesla coil can be pushed on top of the sparking tile, and then that I'm supposed to pull this same coil over to the other sparking tile. But even knowing exactly what to do, the execution is a bit tight between other threats. Once we shock Victor, he floats down and engages us in a direct fight. It's down to a good old-fashioned one-on-one combat. Bosses add one new mechanic to their fights. Sometimes they start a regeneration phase where we have to quickly mash a button to knock them out of it. But otherwise, yeah, just bash him until he dies. It's the first time we see combat patterns approach anything close to difficult. Towards the end, he's sending so many green circles at once that it's hard to track which one is landing first.
Miserable gnat, undesired pill! You think I've been troublesome? Just wait until you meet my brother and sisters! They will strip the flesh from your bones, scrap by pale scrap! Welcome to despair, little girl.
Phew, that's our first boss defeated. The house's alchemist and zookeeper, Victor. And his portrait back in the foyer updates to show him as a skeleton.
When did the painting change?
The lobby shop is now operable, and shop stock has expanded. I snap up a membership card that reduces all prices by 10%, which is going to pay for itself as soon as we can grab this clover that says it doubles the loot drops from enemies. So we're still just using our gold to save more gold. Then we have no reason to delay. It's time to face the second wing of the house, guarded by a new bad guy.
Well, she's busty. I wonder what role she plays in this.
That's going to be Constance, the busty courtesan whose job is luring in new souls to get trapped by the house. Well, we enter the east wing on a cozy lounge. Looks like a broken record player is going to be our first meta puzzle of the area. And it looks like dashers from the Victor boss fight have now just been added to the normal enemy pool. They're still easier than leechers, so I'm cool with that. Like with Victor, we've now collected texts about Constance spanning multiple centuries. We never do learn how all the mansion's minions met each other, but it sounds like they all locked in their cursed immortality together around the year 1800. Perhaps their ritual coincided with that deadly hurricane that ran through town. Okay, proceed into a dim hallway and meet Elijah.
Excuse me?
Apologies, my beauty. It's not every day these eyes fall on someone so vibrant as yourself. The name's Elijah Price, gadabout and entrepreneur. How do you do, Ms.
Erica.
They introduce him as a womanizer, but Elijah is high-key the most helpful anyone has been to us so far. We learn from him that the master of the house, that voice speaking to us who runs the house and employs the rest, is named Crows.
Crows, I think it was?
Ah, the master of the house. Him I know.
It explains why the soup had a crow's foot in it, kind of. And he mentions not one, but two witches in the house. One of them is Constance, but this is the first we're hearing of the scary crone up in the attic, conniving and unseen. I try a door in this cozy hallway and enter on a warm trophy room.
I may have underestimated you. Then again, I may have overestimated Victor.
Crows, I presume?
At your service.
Somehow I doubt that.
It's an expression. Why are you still alive?
Why are you trying to kill me?
You're searching for someone, aren't you?
Some evil witch, apparently.
No. Who are you really searching for?
What do you mean?
Someone named Angie?
What do you know about Angie? Is she here? Hello? Answer me! Ugh, I hate this place.
TML does a great job personifying its villains. I love how Crows has conversations with us rather than just being a mute force of evil, especially because that lets us hear his armor starting to crack. Our success is upsetting him. We do some matching to replace a bunch of animal trophies to earn a piece of the record player, but getting back to fix it won't be so easy. This place is infested.
This place is infested.
The hallway is no longer safe, populated now with a gross new meaty pincher bug with its insides on the outside. These things introduce another new combat action, purple circles. They're like the blue ones, except they ping-pong multiple times, but at least each bounce counts as a hit. Oh, okay, that's pretty early to find the boss door. Well, fixing the record player gets us into the garage, but on the way...
That's a really creepy doll.
This doll wasn't here when we stepped through the room before. I'm actually kind of scared by this thing. Might be best to forget about it for now. What doll?
Ugh. Guess you're guarding something, huh?
The garage is packed with leechers. If you consider this whole room altogether, it might be the toughest combat all game. These things love spawning in hordes. Of course, we're obligated to kill them all at least once, because we know the game likes to hide key items inside of monsters sometimes. The prominent old-timey car in here is inert, but it looks like for our next meta puzzle to get the garage door open, we're gonna need to get our ass in gear. Well, crowbar event. Looks like I did make the right choice of weapon to keep on me. And we enter the library, which has a couple of interesting mechanics to introduce. One, there's actually a second fireplace item to retrieve, but the game is merciful and provides a duplicate fire poker within the same room. So the game does provide multiple copies of some important tools. Two, there's a boarded up door that I'm surprised the crowbar doesn't open. I guess there's gonna be a hammer? And three, we have our first timed event, having to flip a lever on one side of the room, then race across to a gear on the other side before the vault closes on us. It's not tough to achieve.
Wait, where did that doll go?
And the creepy doll has now jumped out of our inventory. Great. That thing is scaring me. All of the ghosts so far, heck, even the big evil guy himself have been cordial, but that doll is something else, speechless and malevolent. And besides that doll, this game has a couple other environmental scares that surprisingly affect me considering the medium. Real scares are unexpected amidst the otherwise cute aesthetic of Till Morning's Light. Doors will be cracked open that slam shut when we pass them as though we're being watched. Footsteps will grow louder approaching us on the hardwood, but of course, no one's there. It's not going to come across well in a video, but TML does a good job working in scary moments. They're infrequent enough that they hold some power. Okay, gears open our way to the driveway, which is unfortunately gated shut. So it's right through to the pool where we encounter Keaton, yet again. Hey, I thought ghosts had to stay put where they died. For players that haven't listened to the audiobook, by the way, this is the first time that they will learn that Erica came here tonight to look for her friend, Angie.
Angie was my best friend in junior high. We used to explore mysteries together. God, that sounds so lame now.
Like this house?
Yeah. Everything we discovered, we put in this notebook. It's hers, actually. We were planning to come here next before she went missing.
Also, I forgot to mention, you have to beat them all by morning.
Wait, what?
Yeah, or else you become a ghost. House rules. So you better pick up the pace.
How do you know all this?
Like I said, I get around.
Quit spying on me, Keaton!
Ah, so the stakes have been raised. We don't just need to survive. We're on the clock to seek out and kill 3 more of Crows' cronies, or we'll get trapped in here forever. Well, the big puzzle in the Eastern Garden is to assemble a silver key that's in pieces.
Some kind of metal shard. Silver, maybe?
So I gather several key items, and my anxiety shoots through the roof, passing more dirt mounds, knowing that my shovel is all the way back across the mansion. I do run into another creepy, otherworldly statue. But besides that, these Eastern outdoor rooms are relaxing. They're wide open, calm, crickets chirp, and no creepy dolls. I do find a lever handle to open the pool area, which, hallelujah, contains a spare spade to spare me a long backtrack. But even after digging up every dirt mound in the yard, I'm still missing a key piece. What I do find is a door to the conservatory, through to a dilapidated sitting room, then a game room, all connecting back to the eastern hallway where we met Elijah. Opening these loops and shortcuts scratches something in my brain. It's like filling in a Scantron sheet. And walking those rooms back to the lobby, thanks to our checkbook income, leaves us with just enough coins to buy the loot doubling clover. No, I don't personally need the extra gold from enemies, nor the biscuits they drop, because I'm good enough that combats have actually been positive expected value for me. Monsters drop healing items more often than I use healing. But if you are struggling a bit more with the action, this clover does make a big difference in survivability thanks to doubled healing item drops. So, at this point, I felt like I had all the key parts, but I was still missing a way to combine them. There's no combine from inventory feature in this game, so I knew I'd have to find some kind of forge or puzzle board that permits me to stick the key bits together. Well, it turns out the place for that was just on the wall right next to the door that this key is destined to open. Oops. It can be tough sometimes to notice interaction points in the game. They're small, they're fairly dim, and you do need to stand close for them to even appear. It's why I recommend not just looking for the pips, but use your human brain to analyze what you're looking at and see if any furniture looks like it should be interactable. If you spot a chest of drawers or a prominent plaque on the wall, you might want to double check that you didn't miss some interaction when you cruised by it the first time. So, with that key reassembled, we're in the final garden room. A dead end, except for a ladder leading down into a dark well.
What's your step? It's dark down here.
Thanks for your concern. I killed some more of your monsters, you know.
I'm aware. Those don't come cheap, you know. Especially now that Victor is indisposed.
Bill me. And the old witch in the attic? What about her? Did I hit a nerve?
Witches and spells? Oh, really, Erica? Don't let fantasy override your common sense.
Clever handle.
My bad, I think I cut the guy off there. Most rooms in TML have some audio that plays when you enter them, but since Erica likes to comment on every little thing she sees or picks up, it's easy to accidentally cut that off. It's why you generally see me freeze like a deer in headlights when I enter a new room so we can hear the audio. Down in the basement, I find a hatchet I switch to in case that can open those boarded doors, then clear several more basement screens full of snake enemies. How deep does this place go?
How deep does this place go?
Eventually, we reach the crux of the basement, a ritual room, hinting at something truly evil in this house.
I'm well aware of the animosity between Isabel and Constance. It grows with each passing decade. We'd been here scarcely a fortnight when I first caught Isabel performing a ritual with the intent of permanently silencing Constance's tongue. She's very skilled, Isabel. All it takes is the right charms in the right configuration, and she can make anything happen.
Isabel, huh? She's gonna be our fourth boss, the witch up in the attic. Weird how little we've heard about the third guy, though. And small detail from the prequel, but one of the ghost hunts Erica and Angie went on before coming here was actually a super old graveyard where they held a seance to contact the witch, Isabel Buchanan. Their seance fails to make contact, probably because Isabel is still alive in this house. Also, we find a green glowing door marked with a crow symbol. That's looking like it might be our final boss. We're just scouting the remaining basement rooms now for 4 more statues to pop into that ritual circle, which poops out a blue scroll, our key to a second boss fight. I know we've been getting Isabel lore, but this was all supposed to be Constance's wing of the house, so let's go fight her?
Come in, please. Don't be shy. Enjoy the festivities.
Are you Constance?
I am. And you must be the fiery little heroine I've heard so much about. What is your name, if I might ask?
Erica.
Charming, it suits you. Have a seat, please, Erica.
I'd rather not.
Fair enough. I can respect a young woman with conviction, although I'm not terribly pleased with you killing Victor, if we can be candid.
Maybe you guys shouldn't be killing innocent people.
Innocent? Oh, my dear, you're so naive. I presume you're speaking of Elijah, that lecherous young wolf.
Maybe.
Couldn't wait to get his paws all over me. Insatiable. You should see what he did to me in his dreams.
I don't...
No, of course not. You're young, innocent.
Ew.
I've been with senators, congressmen, presidents, that's plural, mind you, men of the cloth, men of war, men of peace, young men, old men. They all want the same thing. And knowing that, you can get anything you want from them.
Back off!
You would do well to respect me. You've no idea how powerful the Master has made me.
No, but I know how butt ugly he made you.
Dang!
Well, I can see our little discussion is over. What a rude child you are. I should teach you some manners.
Constance's boss fight takes place in a large ballroom, again with the boss hovering out of reach until we solve some environmental puzzles to draw out the one-on-one. There are 4 tables laid out with party accoutrements. There's a punch bowl, a 3-tier cake, petit fours, and a floral arrangement. But before I even try messing with those, I circulate the room looking for any key items and doodads we might require. I do find some poison. Better not drink this.
Poison, I think. Better not drink this.
As well as matches, alcohol, a gross garbage chute full of flies, and an empty jar. So naturally I collect a jar full of flies.
It's a jar with flies in it.
Our task is to ruin Constance's party. It's a bit of a logic puzzle, and we do have to ruin all 4 tables in a short time span, which I messed up once and had to recollect the flies. Turns out, timed flies when you're having a blast. So we unleash the bugs on her desserts, chop up the cake, poison the punch, and light her flowers on fire. Then with all the tables ruined, Constance deigns to fight us herself, whereupon we beat out her stuffing.
You've ruined everything. It's time for your lesson. I must warn you, it's a tough one.
Oh, and I'm rocking a candlestick weapon that I found back in the ritual room. Seems pretty damaging.
You wretched little minx! You've no idea who you're dealing with!
Maybe not, but I'm doing pretty good so far.
The Master cannot be stopped. He has a greater plan for this horrible, depraved nation.
Oh, neat. A costume change, because Constance ripped off our jacket.
See ya, Constance. Looks like you've seen better days.
That's 2 bosses down. I think Constance's wing of the house was my favorite part of the game. We had the pattern down from the first chapter, it wasn't too long, we got to explore the creepy basement, and the whole thing was the perfect mix of linear and non. Lego Joker has some interesting new items for sale. There's a consumable that buffs a run speed, and mid-tier healing vials, or for $2,700, a crimson vial that promises a passive lifesteal effect on our attacks. Finally, we'll have a compelling payoff for our gold once we can afford it. And no, I'm not going to go back and forth between rooms right now farming cash with our checkbook. The game's not hard enough to warrant that. By the way, those lost spirits we've been saving seem to flow into this huge grandfather clock on the landing. This is probably where we'll collect our prize once we find them all.
You're smarter than I thought, or at the very least, more resilient.
Thanks, I guess.
On our way into the 3rd wing, Crows taunts us some more and implies that the ghost boy Keaton may not be telling us the truth about killing his 4 minions before dawn. Of course, Crows doesn't want his own lieutenants killed, but he might be right. Keaton has been a little shifty. The fact that we've already killed 2 bosses doesn't bother Crows too badly, cause it sounds like someone else has managed it before, and Crows must have a method of returning them to life. Well, the guy who handles that for him is Lucian, and we're now exploring his wing of the house, the 2nd floor, east side. Really, it's the east side of the 3rd and 4th floors too. There's no more outdoor areas, so they stack some rooms vertically to keep all 4 chapters equal length.
Keaton?
Yeah?
Tell me how you died.
You know, I wouldn't worry about that right now. It's just depressing, and you need to keep your head in the game.
Right.
Oh, he is definitely hiding something. The 2nd floor hallway is warm and cozy. Gosh, I love the level design of this game. Every room feels unique. There's a great blend of calm rooms and combat-heavy ones. Some warm and candlelit, some dark and glowy. Some full of puzzles, some just a shopkeeper or a lost spirit to collect. I'm excited every time I open a door to see what's next. There's also a stunning amount of detail to the rooms. I never felt like I was running into recycled assets, even down to the paintings on the walls. Till Morning's Light really might be the most polished mobile game ever released. Anyway, we run into a pragmatic, level-headed ghost named Evan, the Evanescence, and his wife's spirit is sleeping somewhere cold.
My wife, Hannah, is trapped in another room. We had the misfortune of being killed apart from one another. I haven't spoken to her in...
I could give her a message for you. If I see her, I mean.
Shouldn't you be running for your life right now?
I'm a multitasker.
Well, if you see Hannah, please tell her I love her, and that I'm sorry.
You got it, King. We'll find your wife. This is the second time now that we found a keypad-locked door, and yet the ghosts have been here for centuries? I guess Lucian, as the house's technical mastermind, has been keeping up with popular mechanics and figured out how to order parts for delivery. There's the Amazon tie-in. And the game shortly introduces our final battle action, orange countdowns that we have to tap right as the time expires. They're effectively the same thing as the green shrinking circles, just represented in a different way visually. We find some stairs up to the 3rd floor where we meet Evan's wife, rather close to where he's stuck, really. It's sad they've been unable to connect over that short distance. There's just too much that time cannot erase.
I spoke with your husband.
Evan? How is he?
He's okay. He misses you pretty bad. How are you?
Me? I'm a wreck. Can you imagine being separated from the one person you love for eternity?
Oh, I've never really... Anyway, he wanted to say he loves you. And that he's sorry.
Thank you.
They include that little bit of characterization for Erica where she's about to say she never loved someone. Then Hannah does fill in some more lore on Lucian.
He murdered Evan and myself. From what I can tell, he runs the house, sets up all the traps, locks, keys.
Then I seriously hate that guy.
Find him and you might get some answers. And thank you again, Erica.
So Lucian is a mechanical mastermind, whose responsibilities here also include repairing his dead coworkers. Somehow it's not a spell-based immortality, but like steampunk reanimation. That's oddly reminiscent of the mechanical zombies in another game that I know. Also here in a note, we learn that Lucian is very musically inclined and can be heard humming a tune sometimes that he learned from a girl in his youth.
La 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 la.
So our next puzzle is to find the missing keys for this piano and plink out that tune. Those are all nearby, and for solving that puzzle, we get another piano key.
I mean like a key, not the keys in a piano. Never mind.
That puts us in the 3rd floor hallway containing the orange ruined boss door for Lucian and some long-awaited lore on the house's master, crows.
The history of my blood runs deep through centuries of English noblemen, hunters, priests, and warriors. I know this intimidates Isabel. She thinks less of herself, to have been born in this new nation to a poor and common family. But as I've told her, where she's come from is far less interesting to me than where she's headed.
Ah, a romance. So Crows is from an old English noble family, but he fell for the common folk witch Isabel from the New World. Isabel doesn't have a rich lineage, but Crows looks past that. He likes a woman who's fast and thorough and sharp as a tack. Okay, these knights obviously want shields, so let's collect those. In the neighboring statuary, solving a puzzle with the busts gets a key and spawns in a frightening new enemy type. This huge depressing thing looking like a very sick swampert. This charger has no new gimmicks, just high hit points. I've still been carrying around the crowbar for utility, but its low DPS is becoming a liability in combat.
Perhaps we can work out a deal of some sort.
Not interested.
You might be. I know what you're searching for, Erica. Why you carry that tattered old notebook everywhere you go.
How do I know you're not lying about Angie? That she's really...
Here is my proposal. You stop destroying everything in my house immediately. And in exchange, I will allow you and your little friend to leave.
Oh ho ho, he's offering deals now. He knows his whole back's to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He crows home and barely knows his own daughter. I know that was a stretch, sorry. We grab a shield in this small music room, then pry open a vent to a darkened bedroom. I guess we do still want the crowbar, DPS be damned. And once we step back into the statuary, something familiar waits for us.
Hello again.
Frankly, I'm more worried about this doll than anything going on with Crows or Keaton. I guess we just have it again, for now?
And she's not here. She's too smart to die in a place like this. What am I doing?
Well, at a shop in the servant's room, we can afford that Crimson Vial. With this, we'll restore a single hit point on every successful attack, meaning healing is basically useless, at least for a while. Late game enemies can spike big damage that we'll want to heal just so that we're not sitting one more big hit from death, but until then we have no reason to top off our hit points. Any damage taken will get healed back in short order.
You know he's full of crap, right?
Keaton.
No, seriously, he's totally lying. I've seen it 100 times. Clock strikes noon and bam, you're a ghost. You can't stop now.
Noon? You said morning.
Yeah, right, morning. That's what I meant, my bad.
Wait.
Who's next? That Lucian guy, right?
Hang on.
Come on, I'll help you find him.
Oh my god! You are trying to get me killed!
Oh my gosh. So this creep has been trying to get us killed just so he can hit on us? Keaton is a nice guy? A murderous nice guy?
Crows was right. I mean, he's still trying to kill me, but he was right.
Well, grab the final shield, but on the way back down to that hallway with the knights, another new enemy type assaults us. A hulking insect man with quite the mouth-ussy. Very vulvic. Combats are starting to get hectic, with multiple cues appearing at once, even mixing different actions between sequences of another. We're fully just playing Bop It Extreme now. It's the first point in the game when I'm making mistakes in combat based on rhythm and judgment rather than just mechanical errors and fat thumbs. In an optional rooftop area gated by a vent, the crowbar definitely seems like the generally most useful tool to keep on you, is a third alien statue.
Who keeps making these?
These statues look nothing like other monsters we're facing. Are we getting bloodborne? By the way, there are a lot of optional rooms like this containing nothing but a lost spirit toward our goal of 20. The spirits are never hidden, they just might take a certain tool to access that you might have to backtrack for. As long as you visit every room in the mansion, which, yes, might mean carrying around a suboptimal crowbar weapon, you'll easily find all the lost spirits. This one marks our halfway point on collecting. Then when we return downstairs through the servant's room...
Who brought these things in here? Oh my god, it just moved. Did it move? Oh, I hope I'm seeing things. Not cool, not cool, not cool.
The poor shopkeeper doesn't even want to handle this crap. He's shut tight. The ghosts we can talk to aren't so scary, but the cursed doll, the odd statues, and now these mannequins? There's something bigger going on here. Well, placing the final shield nets the orange scroll for our boss fight and spawns another sick Swampert. But once he's handled, let's see about this Lucian guy.
You're Lucian, right?
Da! And you are a little girl who caused so much trouble for me and my associates.
I guess so. Listen, Lucian, I don't want to fight you.
It's a little late for that now.
Crows offered me a deal.
Little girl play funny tricks, but Lucian is smarter than she think.
No,
He's very small, this one. From stories, I expect something meatier.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Oh, no, it's fine. I've crushed so many over the years. Lucian is not picky man.
You don't look like a man at all.
You have good eye. I've made many improvements over the years. Very efficient now. Strong, fast. We get things going, yes?
Certainly wasn't expecting a Russian accent for the name Lucian. Awkwardly, this third boss fight is simpler than the first two. As with the prior bosses, there's a handful of environmental pieces to tap on around the arena. Pull a few levers, we climb a ladder, get a cannonball and fire it, push a box onto a plate. The difference is Lucian himself isn't floating in the middle waiting for us to provoke him. He's rushing around, pressuring us during the puzzly bits, and he's rather aggressive. This is where that time freezing consumable would help significantly. I definitely should have brought one, because even getting a short window to push your box around in peace makes a large difference. I had a rough time accomplishing my tasks in little intervals between the flurry of Lucian charges and enemy attacks. Once we're able to shoot hot steam in his face, Lucian fights us in a real battle with downright tricky action sequences, like a series of orange timers with a yellow swipe to hit in between them. He does land a few good hits on me in a row, so I pop a cheeky medkit to full heal.
Is good battle, very strong little girl. Lucian can learn a thing from...
Don't you ever shut up. Well, least it's not covered in gunk this time.
Lucian was a critical component to this house. With him, bringing Victor and Constance back would have been trivial. But with Lucian gone...
No, wait a second. I'm sorry.
You've no idea how sorry you are.
So, I guess even though other visitors have slain Victor and Constance before, this is further than anyone's made it. Crows never saw Erica coming. After falling through an obvious trapdoor to claim a gemstone, worth it, we land in the basement to meet the meek servant girl Sarah, who spills the juicy Crows details.
My name's Erica. Pleased to meet you, Miss Erica. Sarah is my given name.
We learn that Crows was lynched by the townsfolk and stabbed with his own sword once word reached them about the dark rituals going on in here. Man was spending 1 black mana to get 3 back. It was completely out of hand.
Then how did he come back to life?
Miss Isabel has incredible abilities.
The witch.
She and the others, they brought the master back, but at a cost.
What was that?
Surely you've seen their appearance, miss.
Yeah, total beef jerky.
Miss Isabel's spell brought the master back in spirit, but not in body.
Ah, so unlike his minions, Crows is without a body right now. He's a ghost. In fact, according to his own mansion's rules, his ghost is likely stuck where the crowd initially killed him, behind that green door in his basement. And now we know why, the moment we got locked in here and asked to leave, Crows said that won't be happening. He wants Erica to count toward the 100 souls for bringing his body back. Well, we're given a sledgehammer, which turns out to be the final tool weapon of the game, capable of breaking those boarded up doors we've passed by a couple of times now. Then we're turned loose on the final chapter in pursuit of the attic witch Isabel, starting on the 2nd floor, west wing. This last chapter is at once the most interesting and the most frustrating, cause with most of the house open by now, our path is less linear. Sure, most of the new rooms are in this wing, but there's also scattered rooms in previous areas we're still gaining access to, through the sledgehammer or keypad codes. Remembering where those are, or that they even exist, adds a little kiss of complexity, a little curl on the mustache of linearity. To start, we'll need to get back upstairs to the attic and Isabel.
I need to get back upstairs, to the attic, and Isabel.
Shop inventory has updated a final time. There's no exciting passive power-up, but there are 2 new consumables. There's a red potion doubling damage for 60 seconds, that's obvious boss fight fuel, and a gold medal costing 900 coins that makes currency pickups worth double for 60 seconds. Which is a huge trap. There's not a single place in the game where you can earn back 900 coins in a minute, let alone make a profit on that.
Ugh, where's the maid? This place could use a good dusting.
We're going to be seeing more of Isabel's witchcraft in this final chapter. The environmental storytelling gets downright creepy, and we still never got resolution on that doll. To wit, the first door I try in Isabel's wing of the house is a cursed playroom.
Creepy.
Our first meta puzzle this chapter looks like we'll be searching for dolls to place in this wonderfully rendered dollhouse, and figuring out which rooms they go in will take some work too.
Journal entry, July 26th, 1914. Lucian confided in me that when he was a child, no older than 3, he burned down the house in which his family lived.
Yikes. So Lucian, who seemed more human than the other bosses so far, might actually be a sort of Lucius devil child situation. We find daddy and little brother dolls in the adjoining nursery, but when we re-enter the playroom...
Okay, this isn't unsettling at all.
The walls now read, "Stay away," and "Don't come back," as evil runes dance in the red glow. And to really make things creepy, that doll pops out again.
Why do you keep following me? Okay, calm down, Erica. You're shouting at a doll.
Luckily, we're allowed to just leave. I'm a little surprised at that, given the decor.
Buster? More like busted.
This comment, where Erica calls that thing a buster, makes no sense until you realize that this game has a bestiary out in the main menu. You have to quit out, but then you can read the notes Erica's been keeping in Angie's journal about the night's events.
A buster. This guy scares me more than any of them. It's like he's always hunting me. I'm sure he'll show up in my nightmares.
This is where I got all those, quote, official monster names from. And yeah, Vulvaface is a guy that thinks he's fly, and he's also known as a busta. Anyway, that hallway contained the mother doll, as well as the picture teaching us where to place everything in the dollhouse. So after doing all that with the dolls, we get a fleur-de-lis key, and thankfully that cursed little doll doesn't come up again. I think it just wanted its family. Crow's voice pops in again to sass us as we enter the museum, once again making threats. But Erica's been growing as a person over the course of the night, and she's ready to show her teeth.
All you do is make empty threats. You talk about how I can't beat Victor, or Constance, or Lucian. Well, guess what? You can't beat me. Sucks to be you, Crows, because the wrong teenage girl got locked in your house tonight. That's what I thought.
Get his ass, Erica. Well, the museum, despite its size and, let's call it ripeness as a puzzle area, only challenges us with a simple block push. But we do collect a katana that's hitting for 17s. That's some fine endgame DPS. Worse than the broadsword we already grabbed in the basement that's hitting for 20, but alas, we can't make progress from here if we're carrying either sword, because we next run into 2 boarded doors in quick succession, plus a keypad we don't have the code for, 1 door locked with a crystal key, and 2 more rooms that it looks like we should be able to access, but can't. Those have to be one-way doors we're on the wrong side of. So I make a pretty big backtrack for the game's single sledgehammer that I had left down in the basement to get those boarded doors open. Then through a small bedroom and a vent that's mercifully already open, we take a secret passage all the way up to the attic. There's a fire axe here that's useless. It would have been cool if it was like an upgraded sledgehammer that could break boards and also hit stronger, but it's only good for fighting. And if we remember, or stumble into it, because at this point we're lost and just kind of searching the whole house, there's a boarded door to revisit in Lucian's wing that nets us a lost spirit. That one gets us to 18 out of 20, so we're close. But I mentioned being lost. This is the moment that I struggled hardest with the game and could have used just a bit of guidance. Now, the game does have a hint system that I never used. It lets us pay gold to solve puzzles like if we had struggled with the placement of the dolls in the dollhouse. But I never needed help with what to do, I just need help finding where to go now. I've explored every room open to me and solved the puzzles therein. I feel like this is a silver key situation all over where I just failed to spot some interactable object in the past dozen rooms that hides something we need to progress. Well, after a while struggling, it turns out I had simply missed a working door. Didn't even need a key for it. Shush, listen, it was vertically aligned with the hallway walls, I didn't spot it. Ironic then that this room is the observatory. It contains another trunk shop and a long ladder to the attic. With 4,200 bucks accumulated by now, I did buy one of every consumable item just to fill in the item descriptions in Angie's journal.
An old stopwatch. I'm surprised it even works.
It really was excessive that they had Stephanie Shea record descriptions for every single item. Like, look, the candlestick we used for one fight has a voiceover.
A candlestick. No candelabra, right? It looks expensive.
And so does an ephemeral key we had on us for all of 5 seconds.
A little boat on this key.
You get the idea. The level of production on this telephone game is just bonkers. Anyway, the West Attic is a huge combat arena of diverse enemy types. Then Keaton shows his dumb face again as we enter a small storage room.
Hey!
Get away from me, Keaton! I'm not talking to you!
Okay, I probably deserve that.
Probably?
For what it's worth, I totally regret trying to get you killed earlier. At least let me help you get out of here. You can trust me now.
I will never trust you again! Now leave me alone!
Ugh.
In this room, we find the pink rune door, to which Isabel is close. And we can open up a shortcut back to the East Attic where we declined that fire axe, but this was another point where I was kind of at a loss on how to move forward. I spent too long wandering the house looking for another door that I didn't realize I can open, but this time the answer is slightly less my fault. It's kind of like that situation with the statues where we had to attempt a thing that I know we can't finish. See, back up in that storage room, there was a push block puzzle that I hadn't tried to solve because I could see that I don't have the lever handle I need to lower the gate and reach the pressure plate. But if we pull the block away from the wall anyway, which looks futile, it turns out that box was hiding a nook in the wall that contains the very lever that makes this problem go away. The crystal key we get from that unlocks the dark study down on floor 3, which is my favorite room in the house aesthetically. Lose the skeleton fragments lying on top of crates, and I'd love to have this room in my house one day. A journal entry in here colors in some more Victor lore. This could have maybe come sooner, we're long past Victor's section. It sounds like Victor became estranged from his beloved wife back in 1803 because of some ritual. Did he, like, sign up for immortality with crows and the gang and leave her behind? That's not cool. Well, forget the study for a second. In the connecting bathroom, a huge hole was blown in the wall by something that we're about to meet. First, though, grab a very wet treat.
I can't believe I just reached into a toilet for a biscuit. What is wrong with me?
And after grabbing the ballerina figure for a music box puzzle back in the study, well, that's the last missing phase in our bestiary filled. This huge blood strider, officially a creeper, has a lot of hit points. It tends to favor purple ping pong actions, which can be tough enough on their own, but now it's making us complete other actions in between bounces of the purple thing. I was waiting for them to interpolate other actions with the purples. Interpolate? It was a matter of time. I hope we can find enough toilet biscuits to keep up with the damage I take messing up against creepers. Well, after repairing a music box in the study, we're through to the unusual dining room. The laws of physics are out the window here as furniture floats, and the door we entered through does not lead back to the same room when we step through it again. Unfortunately, the room it does take us to includes another creeper, so I finally decide to spend a consumable, a steel gauntlet, to reduce the punishment for mistakes. Once that's cleared, the push boxes in here are disappearing as I go to grab them. That's not very normal.
That's not very normal.
It's a bit of a struggle finding a real box, only for the pressure plate to run away from me as I go to push it on. It's like trying to grab a bar of soap in the shower. There's an unusual bedroom to go along with the unusual dining, where we net our 19th lost spirit. Then our way out of here is to advance down the small back servant staircase to the second floor breakfast room, which has been behind the wrong side of a one-way door for a long time. I'm very happy to finally fill in this space on the map. In the breakfast room, we find a numeric code to a keypad that's unfortunately back through the cursed playroom. Just gonna slip through here, eyes forward, don't acknowledge it. The room we open isn't scary though. It's just a pleasant little painting studio housing our 20th and final lost spirit. With all 20 of them collected, shall we return to the foyer now and see what kind of content we unlock?
Oh, it opened. I wonder where it goes.
This passageway leads straight to Crow's own mausoleum. It's a room technically located out in the graveyard that we've already been to, but it had no way to open it from the outside.
Is this the sword Sarah mentioned? The one that killed crows?
Aside from several piles of gold, our prize for saving all 20 lost spirits is a glowing green sword, Crow's own sword, the one that was used to kill him, and I fear we may need it to do so again. Alas, it has no special power despite appearances, and it does not affect the story. It's just pretty, and it hits the hardest of any weapon in the game, 30 damage on a perfect hit. We have access to the master bedroom now, where we find some odd personal effects like a chewed-on pencil.
A chewed-on pencil.
Then through the master bath, hold on, it's teeming with snakes. Okay, through the master bathroom, which has a vent to open, but graciously provides the crowbar we need right there. It's a sewing room?
Creepy mannequin.
A series of photographs tell an endearing story about a nice young family. Of course, that's actually the key to our puzzle, teaching us which items to place on which mannequin.
While posing for portraits, baby Colton snatched father's top hat and placed it upon his own head.
You might think these photos pertain to either Crows or Isabel or someone else we've met in the story, but these photos are way too new to have been either of them. This is just some unrelated happy family that got randomly used as a puzzle in the Crow's mansion. Maybe it was a thrift store find. Dressing up the mannequins yields the code to the witchcraft room. More if y'all need a witchcraft room in your house. What's holding you back? On the way there, I did stock up on several consumables for the imminent boss fight. Gauntlets for defense, red potion for damage, and by now I'm familiar with the importance of the stopwatch for buying time to maneuver. Then the witchcraft room contains the pink scroll, conveniently sitting in plain view, but it's a trap, spawning the third and fourth, thankfully final, creepers that will fight all game. Great time to pop a consumable. With those two blown up, nothing is in between us and Isabel, so let's see how horrific this attic witch is.
A raven's wings stripped from bone, intestines from a cloven toad, a newborn's hair soft and clean.
Isabel.
The master told me you would be coming. You've come to kill me, haven't you?
I'd prefer not to, but that's not how this place works, is it?
Who let you in here? Why are you tormenting me?
The master let me in. You can thank him for what happens next.
Oh. I was expecting more lore after the build-up to this fight, honestly. All game long, she's been the secretive fourth boss with some of the scariest rooms in the house alluding to her power. She's Crow's love interest, and obviously she's the most powerful of his minions, but her fight may be the easiest one of all, which is to say the simplest. I begin, as I've learned to in every boss fight, scouting the room for interactive elements and picking up every object I can. Items rack up fast here as I grab a dead bat, dead rat, some cobwebs, a feather. It's all spell ingredients. Isabel is shouting out 3 ingredient spells at us as we search the room that are easily dodged.
Rat, cold, bat!
If we counter her spell by popping those same 3 ingredients in the big cauldron in the middle of the room,
Rat, coal, bat.
We blast the witch with her own medicine. Then she upgrades the enemy adds, and we have to repeat the cycle twice more with different spells. The difficulty of this fight comes in 2 details. We do spend the ingredients when we cast a spell, so if Isabel repeats an ingredient at any point, we have to go collect more of it in the room. And with 10 different ingredients grabbed in haste, it's not like you'll quickly remember where everything is if you need another copy. And 2, the ingredients aren't exactly labeled in our inventory, and the icons are pretty small. I was careful with this, but it would be easy to misclick the cobweb when you were meant to use the spider and have to go collect everything again for messing up the recipe.
Spiders, feather, rat.
After hitting her with 3 spells, Isabel floats down for the one-on-one. This time I popped a red potion to double my damage output, and with the crow's sword making the cuts, she's defeated in a matter of seconds.
Please, my love, my darling Nathaniel, protect me, save me.
Crows is not going to be happy with us.
You must be very proud of yourself.
You did this. This is all your fault.
You may be right about that. At any rate, Isabel is dead. You're free to leave now.
She mentioned Nathaniel.
Yes.
Is that your name? Nathaniel Crows?
At your service.
And Isabel loved you?
As much as any woman could, I suppose.
I hate this. I hate what you made me do tonight.
If you seek retribution, I'll be waiting in the tombs with Angie.
You're lying! She was never here. And even if she was, she'd be free now. The spell is broken.
I've still got a little magic left, and I've never lied to you, Erica.
You know, that's true. Nathaniel Crows may have a couple of evil irons in the evil fire, but he hasn't been deceptive. And for what it's worth, he confirms that Keaton was not lying about the spell. Isabel was maintaining some spell that trapped us here.
Well, it's obvious I won't be getting out the front door. Gotta find another way.
A small oversight, they didn't change this voice line. Erica should have been like, I can't leave now without Angie. Well, with our confidence swelling, we make our way to the basement once more to see if that green door might be blocking our friend. And to kill crows just for the sake of it, too, I guess.
You wanted to know how I died.
Keaton.
Well, I can go anywhere in the house. The truth is, I didn't die here. I have nothing to do with this place, or crows.
What do you mean?
I was goofing around one night, and I sorta fell into a construction pit. Thud. End of story.
You're serious?
See? That's why I didn't want to tell you.
So then, why are you even here?
I was bored. At least here, there's people to talk to. Though as soon as I snuck in, I got stuck too. Just not as stuck, I guess. Anyway, guess I'm free again now. We all are, thanks to you.
That's good news that the other ghosts were able to leave. Evan and Hannah have probably been reunited by now. I just hope our shopkeeper buddy gets wherever he wants to go. He's not a ghost, but he's not going to earn much business after we purged his clientele. Beyond the green crow door, a long Throne of Want staircase leads down to the final confrontation.
Just like crows to have some dramatic winding staircase leading down to him. Ridiculous.
At the bottom, of course, is the final boss fight.
I knew you'd come.
Where is Angie?
Who? Oh, be honest, Erica. You enjoy this, don't you? The violence, the power. You're not the same scared little girl who got trapped in here 12 hours ago.
I've enjoyed absolutely nothing about this night.
Fair enough. Then let's end this as quickly as possible.
So, no word on Angie? Guess we're gonna shoot first. There's no environmental puzzle to this fight. Our only task is to slice up crows in direct combat. Sadly, he doesn't react to us using his own sword against him. And crows won't simply allow us to wallop him. He often disengages combat to fly away rather quickly, and all the while he's hurling ghostly spells at us.
What's happening to me?
Oh, nothing much. I've just separated your soul from your body.
If one of his spells hits Erica, her soul is separated from her body and she takes a rapid damage over time while we run her pieces back together. The only gimmick besides that is just catching the dang guy. He's very fast and he's trying to evade us. This is the one time in the game you strongly benefit from the white feather consumable to buff your move speed. The actual combat against crows is nothing special, though of course it is difficult. I lock in and finally whittle him down, but our final blow is not allowed to be fatal. Instead, we get a cutscene.
Keaton? Run, Erica! Get away! I can't hold this for much longer!
Keaton! You've no idea how long I've been waiting to dispose of that obnoxious meddler. Oh, don't tell me you're sad after what he did to you.
He was my friend.
He was? Then we just chase down crows one more time for the chance to tap in the final damage. A gimme putt. And it turns out Erica's faith and persistence are rewarded after all.
No, I am not done yet. I can't be. There's still so much left to do. My plans, my life.
What life? You've been dead since they strung you up from this tree, crows. It's time to accept that.
Erica?
Angie?
I thought that was you, but you look different.
It's been a rough night.
You were right about this place. It really is haunted. Come on, let's go exploring.
Angie, I can't.
Why not? You're not scared, are you?
Not anymore.
Then what's the holdup, silly? It was your idea to come here, right?
Angie, I'm so sorry.
Don't be such a crybaby. I'm going ahead. You catch up, okay?
I will.
Angie was here in the mansion. Dead, sadly. Her ghost being down here with crows, per the mansion workings, does imply that she had a pretty successful investigation up until she died. And I appreciate the detail that Angie's smaller than us and feels less mature because she died over a year ago while Erica kept growing.
Think she's dead?
Yeah, right. She probably spent the whole night crying against the front door.
For sure. Watch it! Way to overreact, Erica. We told you we'd be back.
Yeah, what's your problem? What? OMG!
Crazy psycho!
Am I bleeding? Oh, I feel sick.
You're gonna be fine, Brooke. For real, Lexi, for real. Just breathe.
And a hefty punch ends till morning's light. Credits roll and... Hold on. There is a juicy post-credits scene.
Oh, I'd forgotten how good it feels to breathe.
The sequel hook. Somehow killing crows actually managed to unkill him and even replenish his body? I'm not sure it makes any sense, but now we're done with Till Morning's Light. And back out on the main menu, if you check the notebook now, there's a final entry for Angie.
Angie was my best friend. This was her journal. Ever since she went missing, I've been searching for her. I guess now I finally found her. Goodbye, Ange.
Till Morning's Light is great. It's certainly one of the best native phone games that I've ever played, both in terms of fun and developer effort. Though there is going to be more competition coming on the channel. Remember to subscribe if you'd like to be here for that. From commissioning an audiobook prequel to build marketing hype, to the full voice acting, not just in the game, but every item in every menu, to all the explorable nooks having unique 3D models, and a solid variation in enemies and weapons, this game received a stunning quality of production. And that's all backed up by good gameplay. Yes, it's just off-brand Luigi's Mansion, but we can't pretend the games industry makes a whole lot of those. Give me a few more even. The combat in the game was balanced. Our weapons scaled well with enemy toughness, and the fight mechanics built up slowly to give us time to get familiar with each one. I would have enjoyed it more if combat was a proper rhythm game with beat-matched music. If it was just a little harder but they made it into Osu, this could have been an all-time video game, but that's kind of a different genre, so I see why they didn't. And a little more variation would have been welcome. The combat system had solid fundamentals, but there was so much design space they didn't touch. Like, your weapon should influence the actions you have to do in combat. Give the dagger primarily yellow swipe actions as though we're slicing, and then have a high-risk, high-reward dexterity type weapon like a flail that gets a much bigger damage bonus on perfect hits. This would have taken no new assets to implement. Then the gold and item systems weren't balanced, but we've been over that. Just adding like 4 maximum health upgrades so that we had reasons to need gold, and then decreasing the cost of consumables so they didn't feel off limits would have fixed it. The puzzles and the design of the mansion, which go hand in hand, were excellent though. We got a mix of searching, logic, and spatial challenges, a little kiss of risk-reward and resource management with the tool swapping, and it's all wrapped up so well in a cohesive game map that steadily grows and wraps back on itself. Till Morning's Light nailed the design of the mansion, which is obviously the most important thing. The last thing I want to touch on is the writing, which is at once great and lacking. The characters and dialogue are excellent and charming. I've said that more than once. But I do have some critical words for the story writing and the larger narrative. None of it is bad. I mean, the premise of revisiting a haunted house after you had a friend die there is neat. But the game didn't connect with its own lore enough. Little snippets of the story made me want to engage with the game's fiction, but they needed a few dozen more journal entries or notes to make that happen, a choice which may have been at odds with the full voice acting. How did Crows meet all of his minions, and what's the nature of their relationships? Lucian might have arsoned his house as a toddler, implying some demonic connection, but now he's just a steampunk guy? Why? They imply Victor had a tragic separation from his wife at some point, but we don't learn how that affected him. And Constance has like nothing about her except that she enjoys baths. Y'all know I love going deep on game lore, and this game wanted to provide it. They teased story hooks for all the characters. They set up a bunch of bowling pins, but then they never rolled the ball. They wrote checks they didn't cash. What about the statues, the ritual room, the mannequin family from the photographs? I'm sure the teased sequel would fill in some gaps, at least for Nathaniel Crows, but sadly we haven't gotten that. Yet. A Lost Phone game from 2015 is all the world has received of the Till Morning's Light verse. But at least now we've shown a light on what there is of this neat original IP before it goes poof, like most early smartphone games do. Hey, thanks for watching another Mothy horror game retrospective. Your watch time means a lot to me. Do please hit some good buttons on the video for me if you enjoyed the content to help me get my work out to more people who might enjoy it. They will appreciate you too. Are there other Luigi's Mansion clones I should check out? I should confess I haven't played LM proper, but I do love this style of game and would say yes to more like it. Thanks as always to my patrons and channel members for helping me produce my particular flavor of nonsense on the internet. You're the best. We've got a lovely little Discord called the Mothy linked below that all are welcome to join if you enjoy being cool. And I've got many more lost, delisted, and obscure horror games to share with y'all, so if that kind of thing floats your boat, be sure to stick around. Mothy, out.
Okay, time for games is now over. Yeah!